so grateful to all of you who are watching, but most of the views are coming from viewers who haven't subscribed yet. If you enjoy these stories, please consider subscribing. It really helps me bring more magical tales your way. Before we begin, tell me in the comments from where you are watching this story and which fairy tale you would love to hear next. Now close your eyes, breathe slowly, and let this gentle story unfold. Long before kingdoms had tall castles and shining crowns, there was a quiet valley hidden between rolling green hills. In that valley lived a husband and wife in a small wooden house warmed by a crackling fire. Though their home was filled with kindness, laughter rarely echoed within its walls. Each night, when the lamps were blown out and silence crept into every corner, the couple felt the heavy sadness of being alone. From the back window of their home, the wife often gazed at a mysterious garden that lay just beyond their land. High stone walls circled it tightly, keeping all living creatures away. No bird dared to rest there. No child ever played near it. Everyone knew the garden belonged to a powerful witch whose temper was as sharp as winter wind. One afternoon, as sunlight spilled across the garden wall, the wife noticed something growing near the edge. Thick green leaves shimmered as if brushed by emerald light. They looked fresh, alive, and strangely inviting. The moment she saw them, a deep ache stirred inside her. "Those leaves, I must have them," she whispered. By evening, her hunger grew fierce. She could not eat, could not rest. Her skin lost its warmth, and her eyes dulled like fading stars. "I need those green leaves," she told her husband weakly. "Without them, my strength is slipping away." Fear filled the man's heart. When night wrapped the valley in shadows, he climbed the stone wall with trembling hands. The forbidden garden smelled of damp earth and magic. He pulled a handful of the green rampion and fled, his heart racing like thunder. The wife ate the leaves eagerly, and color returned to her cheeks. But peace did not last. The very next day, her desire returned stronger than before, clawing at her spirit. "I need more," she begged. Though terrified, the husband returned to the garden once again. As his feet touched the soil, a shadow rose before him, tall and terrible. A cold voice cut through the silence. "You steal from what is mine." The man fell to his knees, begging for mercy. When the witch learned the truth, she smiled slowly. "Take what you wish," she said, "but when your child is born, the child will belong to me." With no strength left to refuse, the man agreed. When the baby girl was born, the witch came at once. She lifted the child and spoke her name aloud, Rapunzel, sealing her fate. Then she vanished into the forest, leaving broken hearts behind. Rapunzel grew swiftly under the witch's watchful eye. She was gentle, curious, and bright as morning sun. Her hair shimmered like spun gold, growing longer with each passing year. When Rapunzel reached her 12th birthday, the witch led her deep into the woods to a stone tower so tall it seemed to touch the sky. There were no doors, no stairs, only a single narrow window. "This will be your home," the witch said. Days turned into years. Rapunzel sang to the wind and the birds. Her voice drifted far beyond the trees, soft and aching with loneliness. Her hair, as fine and bright as spun gold, grew longer each year. The witch, seeing this, cast a spell that made her hair grow endlessly, and it became so long and strong it could be used like a rope. Rapunzel never saw another human. Her only visitor was the witch. When the witch wanted to enter, she would stand below and call, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Rapunzel, who was lonely and knew no one else, would obey. She would untangle her long golden hair and let it fall down from the tower. The witch would climb up the golden hair and enter the tower. Years passed, and Rapunzel's life remained quiet and lonely. She had a beautiful voice, as sweet as a bird's song, and she spent her days singing to the forest. Her only company was the wind, the birds, and the songs she sang. She painted beautiful pictures of flowers and suns on the stone walls, imagining a world she had never seen. One day, a prince was riding through the forest, far from his kingdom. As he journeyed through the trees, he realized he was lost. While he rode, he heard the most beautiful, sad song, a melody that wrapped around his heart like a spell. Mesmerized by the haunting tune, he followed the sound, deeper into the woods. At last, he came upon the tall, strange stone tower. He circled it, but found no door. All he could hear was the beautiful song floating from a window high above. He didn't know how to climb, but the song captivated him and his heart ached with longing. He decided to wait and watch. As the sun set, an old woman came to the base of the tower. The prince watched in amazement as she called out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." A moment later, a thick golden braid fell from the window. The old woman grabbed the braid and climbed up. "That's how she climbs," the prince thought to himself. He knew he had to meet the girl with the beautiful voice. He waited until nightfall, and then, when the witch had left, the prince stepped from his hiding place. Standing at the base of the tower, he called out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Rapunzel, hearing the voice, assumed it was the witch returning so soon. Thinking it was Dame Gothel, she followed the routine and let down her hair. The prince climbed the golden braid, his heart racing with excitement. When he reached the top, he was not met by the old witch, but by a young man with a kind face. Rapunzel screamed in fear, for she had never seen a man before. But the prince, seeing her fear, spoke gently. "Do not be afraid. I heard your beautiful singing. It enchanted my heart, and I had to meet you." As Rapunzel listened to his kind words, her fear began to fade. He wasn't like the witch. He was young and kind. The prince told Rapunzel of the world outside, of the towering mountains covered in snow, of oceans as blue as her eyes, and of towns full of people, laughter, and music. Rapunzel listened, captivated by the world he described. For the first time, Rapunzel had a friend. As he prepared to leave, the prince asked, "Will you marry me?" Rapunzel, no longer afraid, said, "Yes, I will." The prince, being brave and clever, devised a plan. "I will come to you every night when the witch is gone. I will bring silk, and you will weave it into a ladder. When it's long enough, you will climb down and we will leave together." And so it was. Every night, the prince brought Rapunzel a new skein of silk, and every night, Rapunzel wove it into a ladder of escape. She worked with hope in her heart, knowing that one day she would be free. One afternoon, clouds gathered slowly in the sky, and rain began to fall. The prince took shelter beneath the tower, and Rapunzel watched the drops race each other down the stone walls. She told him how rain sounded different from high above, how it felt like the tower itself was breathing. The prince closed his eyes and listened, sharing the quiet moment with her. The witch noticed changes she could not explain. Rapunzel no longer jumped at sudden sounds. Her shoulders no longer curved inward with fear. Though she still obeyed, there was a calm strength in her movements. This unsettled the witch more than anger ever could. When the witch questioned her again, Rapunzel answered softly but truthfully. She spoke of the voice below, the stories, the kindness. The witch's eyes hardened. She warned Rapunzel once more, filling her words with fear, but the old spells no longer worked as they once had. But one day, Rapunzel made a careless mistake. "Tell me, Dame Gothel, why do you feel so heavy? You're much harder to pull up than the prince." The witch, filled with rage, stormed into the room. "You foolish child," she screamed. "I thought I had hidden you from the world." In her fury, the witch grabbed Rapunzel's beautiful hair and cut it off with a cruel pair of shears. Snip, snip, snip. Rapunzel screamed in horror as her long golden braids fell to the floor. The witch laughed as she dragged Rapunzel away, taking her far into a desolate wasteland. There, the witch left Rapunzel alone, heartbroken and abandoned. Meanwhile, the prince returned as usual, calling, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." The witch, hearing his voice, let the cut hair fall to the ground. The prince began to climb the golden braid, his heart racing with hope and anticipation. But when he reached the top, he found not Rapunzel, but the witch. Her eyes glinted with malice, and she hissed, "The bird is gone, and you will never see her again." With a cruel laugh, the witch pushed the prince from the tower. As the prince fell, he landed in a thick, thorny bush, which, though it saved his life, left him blind. For many long months, he wandered the world, heartbroken and lost, searching desperately for Rapunzel. His soul ached with longing, and his world remained dark, for he could not see, but he held on to the memory of her voice, the beautiful songs she had sung to him. One day, as fate would have it, he heard the sound of her voice again, a melody that filled the air like a sweet spell. Guided by the haunting music and the memory of her song, he made his way toward the source. With each step, hope filled his heart once again. When he found her, Rapunzel rushed to him, her heart overflowing with love and relief. She embraced him, and as their eyes met, 2 of her magical tears fell from her cheeks, landing on his eyes. In that moment, the magic in her tears healed him, and the world returned to him in all its vibrant color. The prince could see once more, and the light of the world seemed brighter than ever before. Overwhelmed with joy, the prince and Rapunzel were reunited. They returned to the prince's kingdom, where the king and queen, overcome with happiness, welcomed Rapunzel as their daughter. A grand celebration was held, with music, laughter, and love filling the air as the kingdom rejoiced. In the days that followed, Rapunzel and the prince were married in a beautiful ceremony. Their love, pure and strong, became the light of their lives. Together, they ruled with kindness and wisdom, bringing joy to all who knew them. And so, Rapunzel and the prince lived happily ever after, their love shining brighter than any crown, bringing warmth, light, and joy to the kingdom, forever and always.